Good evening. I'd like to call this meeting for the city of San Juan at 6 p.m. May we rise for invocation. Mr. Arjona, can you lead us, please, sir?
Yes, if we can please bow our heads. Dear Father, we thank you for the opportunity to gather this day, for the many gifts that you give us. We ask you for the opportunities, guidance throughout this meeting, that all of our thoughts and actions reflect your holy will, and that you will grant us the grace to make the best decision for our staff and city. We pray in your name. Amen.
Amen. May we raise the flag for pledge of allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. You may be seated. Under public comments, we have
Yes, Mayor, Commissioner, staff, audience, thank you for being here tonight. The first item on the agenda, Mayor Commissioner, we have on the presentation on departmental report. Pretty much every department is here because the last meeting we didn't have a quorum. So everybody's here, ready, available. Should you have any questions for them?
any questions for the directors at this time?
Mayor,
Go ahead, ma'am.
first, I want to congratulate Chief Tiso Garza on your pinning ceremony, your inaugural pinning ceremony. It was an honor to be there. I know we recognize Officer Mr. Rojas, who had his 44 years with the department. So, Mayor, maybe on the next meeting, we can recognize him as well for the years of service that he put with the city of San Juan.
Sure, we can do a proclamation for him as well. No, not a problem. Just let him know that we'll go ahead and put that on the next agenda. Sure. Okay? Yes, yes.
I have another question also for Chief Cifuentes. Sadly, with all the school shootings we've been having, we would hate for that to happen here, but I'm going to ask, are we working with PSJA as far as any tactical training? Just to be prepared as much as possible. We don't want that to happen, but what's the status of our PD department regarding that?
Yes, we are. We're working with the PSJ district and other law enforcement in the area. We actually have a mock training on sometime in the summertime. We already had a meeting with them. We're going to have a meeting in a few weeks as well to continue talking about that. Yes, sir.
I guess this is more of a comment on my end. I want to thank Parks and Rec, Mr. Willingham, as well as Mr. Guajardo, and you too, Chief, for that 5K bike run. That was a great, great event. I really appreciate that. All the hard work, everyone that was involved in this deal. We got a lot of feedback on it. I think it's something that every time we do some kind of function for our community, all it does is just bring us to one big family. And so I maybe want to consider maybe doing something in the fall, maybe in October, guys, maybe have another 5K. What is it, like a Halloween 5K where people can go dress up, kids can get dressed up and go run or walk? I don't know, I'm just throwing that out there. But I think that would be something different and unique. Like I say, thank you so much for all that great work that you guys did on this event. Go ahead, sir.
Congratulations, guys, to everybody. I know I couldn't attend. I talked to you, Chief, about that. I was at work at the time, but everything was actually above par. Everything was nice and the way it should be. So kudos to that. And both of you guys on as well as Mr. Ruben Guajardo and Mr. Patrick Willingham, tremendous job, tremendous event, mirroring what the mayor just said right now. Community, it looked the way it should look, and it was a privilege to be part of it, and that was a first of many to come. I know they're going to get bigger and better. People were asking now, the media, social media, and it's out there. People were asking now, the people who weren't able to make it, right? And so getting bigger and better. We're here to support you guys because you all put on an excellent show and did what's right for San Juan. So I want to thank you guys for that.
Any other questions? If not, we'll go ahead and move on. Go ahead, sir.
First item under public hearing and ordinances, we have a hold a public hearing for a voluntary annexation petition for the Stewart Coves subdivision, which is a 16.579 acre tract of land, lots 1 and 6, towards addition to the Conway Gardens located at northwest corner of Moore and Stewart Road, as requested by Joyce Select Living Trust. Mr. Tejeria.
Thank you, Mr. Arjona. Mayor, Commissioners, good evening, and everyone, public. This item is the the second public hearing for the annexation of the 16.579 acres out of a 37.25 acre tract of land that's located off of Stewart and Moore Road. So pursuant to Chapter 43 on annexations, Texas Local Government Code, Chapter 43, and our municipal annexation section 43.028, city charter, we did the city commission passed the resolution number 2023-01 on January 10th of this year, setting dates and times and public hearings as part of the annexation process. So, as I stated, this staff recommends approval of the second public hearing of this voluntary annexation for the 16.57 acre tract. Mayor, I just want to apologize. There were some exhibits that were placed in here that belong to another item, but you do have the resolution, you do have the annexation schedule, the original petition annexation, the meets and bounds, the survey, everything that goes along with this request in there, except for the other items that were in there. So it's just a second reading, public hearing.
Okay. With this, at this time, I'm going to go ahead and open this up at 6:11 PM. Is there anyone here for or against? For or against? Any questions? Members of the commission? I see here it was approved, right? Second, yeah.
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. Any questions? If not, I'll close this at 6:12 PM. Is there a motion to approve?
Second.
All those in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carries. Thank you.
Mayor.
The next item, Mayor Commissioners, we're gonna skip that one because this one was withdrew from the applicant itself.
No action?
No action on this one, please.
Okay.
So we're gonna go to C. In item C, we have hold a public hearing for rezoning request from single-family residence district to multifamily resident district on the south 60 feet of the east, 156.9 feet of lot 26, and the north 40 feet in the east, 156 feet of lot 27, block R, lettered block. San Juan is requested by Rafael and Lisa Gonzalez.
Thank you, Mr. Arjona. Mayor and Commissioners, this is a rezoning request from single-family to multifamily residential for this property. Mr. Gonzalez is applying for this rezoning at 1300 Wyoming Avenue, or Wyoming Street, sorry, and to change the zoning of this property, which is measures 100 by 156.90, total of 15,690 square feet. The property is located approximately 270 feet south of 12th Street along the west side of Wyoming Avenue, and the surrounding properties consist of residential uses. Staff recommends denial of the rezoning request since it is considered spot zoning and does not meet the minimum requirement of 150 by 150 feet on lot width and depth for a total of 22,500 square feet. We do have a definition in the report for you of what spot zoning is. It's defined as the application of zoning to a specific parcel of land or parcels of land within a larger or large zoned area when the rezoning is at odds with the city's master plan and current zoning restrictions. In staff's opinion, the rezoning request fits this definition. The future land use map and existing and surrounding land uses are all residential. And we did mail notices to property owners within to 17 property owners within a 200-foot radius. There were several people at the Planning Commission hearing, and there are several people here tonight to speak on this item once the public hearing is open. Once again, the Planning Commission also unanimously recommended denial of this rezoning request. This is a public hearing. This matter is now before you, Mayor and Commissioners.
Go ahead and open this up at 6:14 PM. Is there anyone here for or against? For or against? Go ahead and state your name for the record, sir. You can come to the podium, Mr. Juan.
Martin Gamboa. I am for the side of the Planning and Zoning Committee that's rejecting the thing. I'm the neighbor next to it, and we have a small street. It's an irrigation district problem that we don't have two-way zoning there. I know you guys can't do it, Hidalgo County can't do it, it's irrigation. So we don't fit. There's no way of getting two vehicles getting in and out. Adding 10 more families to have, it's kind of like a private road. There's only like 7 houses over there. We just live down the street. So we hate to have 10 more families added to that, so where you can't be able to get through every time a car passes by, we have to move over to somebody's yard to go through. That's really the main reason why. So,
Thank you, sir. Anybody else for or against? Go ahead. State your name for the record, sir.
Roberto Flores, I live on Wyoming Avenue. Wyoming Avenue, just to get you familiar, is a north-south street. If you're going north or south and there's oncoming traffic either way, you pretty much have to sidestep into a neighbor's yard. It's that narrow, and it's also in poor condition. And we also bring that up occasionally about the condition of it, and it's either the irrigation district and they're not going to do it, and it's just a hazard there. There's no way in and out of there other than through 11th Street. It just would be very difficult to add even one more residence to that area. Thank you.
Anyone else? For or against? Go ahead, sir.
David Alvarado. Mayor, council, let me start off on a positive note, if you guys don't mind, real briefly. I want to give you kudos and thank you for the commerce that I've seen. Those of y'all that I do know and that I speak to, I see a lot of positive things coming in as far as the businesses are concerned. I think that's a step in the right direction. Kudos. Thank you. Now, for the topic at hand is, I live at 1227 East Texas Avenue. So there's a couple of the neighbors, there's some that are here, and we've even submitted a petition regarding this issue. Obviously, we're not in agreement with this rezoning aspect of it on there. There is such a thing called spot zoning, which I wasn't aware. I'm being educated by your your planning and zoning. And I know it's very controversial. I guess the question is, I'm being told that it might be something, and I'm not the expert at this, maybe the city council can answer this on it, but I'm also being told that it might be something illegal, okay? That's a question to ask us, your planning and zoning administration and maybe your city council on it, but that's one issue. The other issue we have is, on the petition we submitted, we got issues from spot zoning, from criminal activity. Oh, there was, I believe, the individual that's requesting made a comment about residents in the area. Myself and a couple of neighbors canvassed that whole area, and I believe we observed within a 3-block radius, one apartment complex that's been, for lack of better words, grandfathered in. But I'm going to request that from the police department, see if we can do a crime analysis on it, because I know there's problematic issues going on there. So the last thing we need in our neighborhood is for something like that to keep occurring or bring some more problems to us. That's another issue. The emergency access obviously is being brought up. The drainage and sewage concerns is something the neighbors are talking about. The dimensions on the noted property, whether even, if it meets the specs or not, I'm not 100% sure, but those are just issues that are being brought up. The traffic concerns and the property value. That being said, we're going to be asking you folks to consider yourselves, put yourself in our shoes by bringing something like this into our neighborhood. Specifically now, I did not get notification about this request. Mr. Tejeda is addressing it. Apparently, there were some submitted twice. I never received any notification, and I believe, if I'm reading this diagram correctly, that I fall within that 200 radius. But we're working on that to make sure that that gets addressed. Nonetheless, we're still asking the commission, mayor, and y'all put yourself in our shoes on her, and hopefully not approve this. Thank you.
Anyone else? For or against?
Good afternoon. My name is Alvarez, and I live close to that area in question. And I would just like to echo everything that everybody has said already. Just to, my husband and I live about 150 feet away from that area. And that street is more like a callejon than a street. So as they were saying, the traffic would be horrible. It is a very intimate neighborhood because if you're not there for a specific reason, you have no reason to be there. There's no in and outs. You can't go through that getting somewhere else and things like that. So it's a rather intimate neighborhood, and the traffic that would be generated with I don't know how many units they want to put there, if it's a duplex or an apartment complex, but it would still generate more traffic for us. We have families living there, we have children playing, and there's a lot of families that are just elderly. So we have to kind of take care of ourselves and try to hope that keep the neighborhood as safe as possible. So not to say that that would bring undesirable type of element to our neighborhood, but that is a possibility, because we're all been there for a very long time, most of us have. So again, like to echo everybody else has already spoken, I would really appreciate it if you would deny this zoning. Nothing against the people who want to put it there. I have rental property that I'm trying to get myself going, but this is, I think, a special case. I would appreciate it. Thank you for your time.
For or against?
Commissioner Oscar Garcia. I live on, right behind where y'all want to make the apartments on it. I motion to deny that request for the reason that it's a close community around that area. We have more people. It's going to be devastating in that area. We tend to keep everybody close together. If it wasn't for David, I think that whole block would be just collapse. We hardly see any patrol officers going in that area, and it's a flood zone, Mayor. Water coming from the canal, just coming east, and it floods the whole area in that area. It's gonna make it worse. Also, the traffic and in and out, and it won't. I'm opposed to it.
Thank you, sir. Anyone else for or against?
My name is Mike Garcia, 1223 Texas. Dave's my neighbor. I'm also opposed to to that rezoning. You know, I grew up in that street, you know, and I moved out a couple of years ago, but I came back, and yeah, you know, the population's you know, it's stayed basically the same. I used to fish in that canal that they're talking about, and I drove out there a couple of days ago just to see exactly where they wanted to put that whatever they wanted to build. And when I was driving through there, there was actually a car coming my way, and I actually had to go onto the neighbor's yard in order to go around them. And when coming back, I had to drive onto the canal to be able to come all the way back around. So there's no in and out. So again, a lot of things that they're saying they're true. If you ever have a chance to drive by there, you can see actually what the road looks like, and it's not a very nice road to drive in either way. Also, we do have some problems with the drainage out there. You know, the sewer lines, they're always getting, you know, pretty clogged up. And that's just, you know, I guess maybe some of the houses, you know, they have children, families are growing, but I feel that if there's something that brings in more people to our area, that's only going to get a little bit worse. You know, so the issues that we already have, if we have something that grows a little bit bigger, I mean, a multifamily house or establishment that's there, I think that we're going to have see a little bit more issues out there. So I do oppose this. Thank you.
Anyone else for or against?
My name is Maria del Rosario Garcia. I live on 1226 South Wyoming, just two houses where they want to build. I've been living there since 1994, and it is everything they've said, it's true. I called Public Works because the street is horrible. And you can go right now, there's holes, and everything they said, it's true. I called also the county, the irrigation department, and they said they cannot do anything. It belongs to them, to the county, and they don't want to do anything about it. I called the city, and they said it belongs to the county. So it's just abandoned. If you go right now with the rain, it's horrible. So I am against this project.
Anyone else for or against? Any questions for Mr. Tejerina?
Ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes, there's one single-family house on the property right now. There's a picture of it in your packet, I believe. Uh, I'm sorry? I passed by there today, and I drove actually on the canal bank, and because there was a gate on the, I think on the north side, and so I didn't see anyone there. I saw some signs on the window, but I didn't see cars or family or anything, anyone out there. Yes, ma'am.
So, I guess the question that I have
Yes,
is,
sir.
that irrigation street, it's, obviously it belongs to the county, one, right?
I believe the
irrigation
Hidalgo
district.
County Irrigation
Yeah,
District
that's
Number
right,
2.
okay.
Yes, sir.
So, that's how some of these residents are able to go in and out of, right? So if that street belongs to the county, how is it that the irrigation district, how is it that this item makes this agenda? You know, how can we make a decision on something that, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
That street belongs to the irrigation district.
Right. Well, you know, as far as the rezoning process,
Is it just,
you know, is they apply and we go through this process. We do have residents that live there right now, just like you heard them.
yeah, exactly.
And then this individual, the applicant, came in, and I did talk to him and told him that based on the future land use map and a lot of other issues that we already have on file and from past discussions and things like that, that we would, the planning department would make a recommendation for denial and take it to the planning commission and so on and so forth. So he said, yeah, that's fine. I want to have my due process, take a shot at going through the process. So we didn't want to deny him that process, you know, which is to come through the public hearings and be here, have the item before you all tonight as well.
But yeah, administratively, it was denied. Administratively, we denied it. Yeah.
I think this is more basically for Mr. Tejerina and our city manager. What is it that we can do? Obviously, our residents here are having issues with that road itself, and I know they're throwing them back and forth to the county, the city, or it's not the cities, it's the counties. And I know the property belongs to the people, and this belongs to the city of San Juan. Obviously, they're paying taxes in our city. Now, how is it that we can address that issue with the road itself? That's what I'm going to look at, and hopefully we can entertain that issue later on that. But we can.
Touching up on that, I agree. I know that, you know, on some other roads, being the county, or maybe not the irrigation district, but the county, precinct 2 is very, you know, willing to work with us and stuff. And I know there's some roads on the north side, precinct 2, that maybe at times we have covered up, or we have, you know.
What we're gonna do is, we're gonna reach out to, either Mr. Sonny
Sonny?
Palacios,
Sonny Hinojosa
Hinojosa, I'm sorry, and maybe reach out to precinct 2, maybe work some sort of an interlocal agreement, see if they allow us to do that. Yeah. Yes. Interlocal.
I was out there not too long ago also to address this issue, because I was called and I went out there to see the location, better yet, to see it firsthand, and I think Mr. You
Yeah,
did
there's-
it today. And I do agree with a lot of the residents' issues.
So when you're talking about the interlocal, you're talking about widening the street or figuring, or what?
Paving?
have to survey first.
Yeah,
and
that-
Even then, if they don't have enough room.
And I was
they
gonna
would
say,
have to do land acquisitions.
I know exactly the road that they're talking about. There's no way.
It's gonna be pretty
So I don't know if you get, I don't even think it's
That's gonna
even
open up
worth,
another.
The fourth
Worth it.
widening, the fourth widening, you said?
I don't think it's even worth to entertain, but we can. But I guess at this time,
But I mean, one item for sure that we can look into is the sewer issues that.
sure,
we're having.
yeah, no.
We can address that.
Yeah, but I'm just talking about the road. It is a real narrow road and it's not safe, and to have more traffic on that is not a good thing for anybody.
Yeah, I guess for EMS and a fire
Fire.
truck, I mean, you can't get
a
in
truck.
there.
Yeah.
You
It's
can't have it
pretty
in there
hard.
local as far as you know, the cracks, I mean,
Yeah.
to resurface and stuff like that, to make sure it's drivable.
Okay, at this time, I'm gonna go ahead and close this at 6:30 PM. I'm gonna go ahead and make a motion to deny.
I'll second that.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
This motion is denied. Thank you so much, sir.
The next
Mayor.
item, Mayor Commissioner, we have a hold a public hearing for conditional use permit for the sale of alcoholic beverages, wine and beer retailer permit at Las Cariñosas Drive-Thru, located 4101 North Veterans Boulevard, legally described as the west 132.37 feet of the north, 120 feet of Lot 5, Block 5, John Clausen subdivision, requested by Ivan Rodriguez Lucio. Mr. Tejerina?
Thank you, Mr. Arjona. Mayor and Commission, this is a drive-through business at this time, so in essence, it's changing hands, if you will. The applicant is Ivan Rodriguez Lucio, and we did present this item to the Planning Commission. They're recommending approval of this conditional use permit for the drive-through at this address, at this location, with the list of requirements that are noted on your packet, in an agenda summary. And we did advise people, 13 property owners within a 200-foot radius of the meeting, and we didn't receive any comments in favor or against. Staff's recommending approval, subject to the conditions outlined in there and in the ordinance. And the Planning Commission unanimously recommends approval of this conditional use permit for this drive-through facility. This is a public hearing. This matter is now before you.
This time I'm gonna open this up at 6:32 PM. Is there anyone here for or against? For or against? Not, is there any questions for Mr. Daniel? I'll close this at 6:32 PM. Is there a motion approved?
So, second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you, sir.
The next item is called a public hearing for special use permit for the installation of a portable building camera and antenna at 171 Dina Drive, legally described as Lot 5, in the east one half of Lot 6, Block 1, Azteca Acres, as requested by La Palabra Viviente Ministries. Mr. Tejerina?
Thank you, Mr. Arjona. Mayor and Commissioners, this is a request by La Palabra Viviente Ministries for a special use permit to allow a 12-by-8 portable building, 11 feet high, that will be located on one of the empty lots along the Deanna Drive. The portable building will have 2 antennas that will serve for remote purposes to broadcast the church services and television program. They are also proposing 1 surveillance camera to watch, to just specifically, take care of or they could see whatever's happening around that antenna. So in essence, we did have a public hearing before the Planning Commission. We mailed out 34 notices to property owners within a 200-foot radius. We did not receive any comments in favor or against the request. Staff recommends approval. The Planning Commission also unanimously recommends approval of this proposal. If you look on the exhibits behind the agenda item, you could see one, which is this one right here, this exhibit on the bottom, which kind of has a hash in red and the little blue location where this portable antenna is, and there's some information on the antenna itself. It's not going to be a tall antenna or whatnot, Mayor. It's just 11 feet high, and it's for the church that's requesting it. This is a public hearing. This matter is now before you, Mayor and Commissioners.
I'm gonna open this up at 6:34 PM. Is there anyone here for or against? Any members of the commission? Now I'll close this at 6:34 PM. Is there a motion to approve?
Second.
All those in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carries. Thank you, sir.
The next item on the discussion and possible action, we have discussing an action, if any, regarding a planned unit development at Stewart Cove subdivision in a 37.25.8 37.258 acre tract of land of lots 1 and 6, Stewart's addition to the Conway Gardens located at the northwest corner of Moore and Stewart Road is requested by Meldon and Hunt, Inc.
Thank you, Mr. Arjona. Mayor and City Commissioners, this request is for plan unit development for Stewart Cove subdivision, which is located at the northwest corner of Moore and Stewart, as just stated. The pursuant to Article 9, Plan Unit Development, PUD, the regulations prescribed shall regulate the procedure for making application for a permit for a plan unit development, the public hearing, the staff investigation and technical support, the action by the Planning and Zoning Commission and the Planning Director. And the ordinance was adopted by the city in 2015. So a definition of what a plan unit development is it is a real estate development which includes a combination of different dwelling types and a variety of land uses which creatively complement each other and harmonize with existing and proposed land uses in the vicinity, and which comply with the provisions of the PUD provisions of the subdivision regulations. In this case, in speaking to Mike Rhodes, the developer, and to Mario Reina from Meldon and Hunt, it's all going to be single-family residential homes and unique prototype houses. As I stated, all residential. In essence, this saves the commission from having to hear any variances on setbacks or irregular shaped lots or lots that don't meet minimum square footages and things like that. And also, it complies with block lengths and frontages and depths, easements and street improvements and setbacks. So in this case, there'll be one builder for all the houses in this two-phase development. Pre-pour surveys will be provided to the city in order so that they don't mess up whenever they're preparing the foundation. Also, currently we're looking at the plat, the water, sewer, and storm and everything with the rest of the departments and our consultant engineer. And so in essence, you have in your packet, Mayor and Commissioners, you have a copy of the plan unit development and the regular shaped lots and streets. So basically, that's what the ordinance, Article 9, Plan Unit Development calls for, that it be presented to the commission. And we did present it to the Planning and Zoning Commission, and we are recommending approval, as did the Planning Commission recommend approval of this, this plan unit development. Like I said, it's all going to be single-family residential. That's pretty much it, Mayor.
Sounds good. Any questions? If not, this is not a public hearing, so.
That's correct.
Good. That being said, is there a motion to approve? I'll second that. All those in favor say aye. Motion carries. Thank you, sir.
Mayor.
The next item, Mayor Commissioners, we have a discussion and action, if any, in accepting the City of San Juan for year ending September 30th, 2022. We have Mr. Garcia here with Garcia and Peña to present us on the financial audit. Should you have any questions? I mean, the audit is great. It's a great audit. Mr. Peña, they showed us the numbers, and we're very pleased with the outcome on that financial audit.
Good evening, Mayor, Commissioners. My name is Manuel Garcia. I'm with Garcia and Peña CPAs from Westaco, and I'm here to go over your audit report. You all have them? Everybody's got his own report? It's an impressive report, isn't it? 118 pages. Our audit report is on page A of the letter A in the report. What's very different from this report from the other ones that we've had in the previous years is it is a comprehensive annual financial report. And normally, we start at the front almost with our report being the presentation. But in this year, we have a transmittal letter from your city manager, Mr. Arjona, and kind of provides an insight into the city of San Juan. It describes what you do and what you're doing in the current year and what you expect in the future. Our report, our independent auditors reports on page A, and that one also has some changes from what we are accustomed to see. First off, we have the first paragraph doesn't change. It's the introduction of the work that we do. The second paragraph is the opinion on this report. This one used to be on the second page. Today we have it up front. There was a big change in this area. And in our opinion, the financial statements referred to above present fairly in all material respects the respective financial position, the governmental activities, business activities, and the aggregate discretely presented component units for the city of San Juan. So it's a clean opinion. We don't have any reservations or qualifications on it. The other change that we have in it is the bottom of the page A. This is in reference to the responsibilities of management. In preparing financial statements, management is required to evaluate whether there are conditions or events considered in the aggregate that raise the substantial doubt about the city of San Juan's ability to continue as a going concern for at least 12 months after this report. This is a big change because now they put some of our responsibility we have, we put it on you. In other words, we normally evaluate when we do the audits where an entity is going to be available to work, continue to work for a whole year after we present the report. And we still have it. It didn't take it away from it, but they added yours. So in case we think it's not going to go, he also has the responsibility to agree to a certain degree, because you should be able to evaluate the same thing. We have that responsibility in any financial statement that we do. It's kind of hard sometimes on the private industry, because if we write a negative report like that, that's pretty much doomed for that year. The other area that we have on this report is the management's discussion and analysis. It's on page D. This one gives you a very good summary of the operations for the year. You've got the financial highlights for the governmental funds and the business, the governmental funds in the government-wide net position. In other words, we go through that. You have a statement of activities for that. And then you have the governmental activities, which is in a different basis of accounting that is here also. And of course, the utility funds. On page 1 and 2, we have the government-wide statement of net position for September 30, 2022 and September 30, 2021. This is a balance sheet, basically. They changed the name to net position, government-wide statement of net position rather than the balance sheet. We use the balance sheet and the governmental funds. On the first page, we have the governmental activities, which is general fund and all the other small funds that are in the governmental section. Then we have the business type activities, which is your water, sewer, and sanitation department. And we have a total for 2022 and a total for 2021. On the cash balances for the governmental activities, we have $16,119,000. Last year was $13,853,000. And then we have your investment sitting at $14,759,000. Last year you had $17,628,000. And then, of course, the net receivables, these are the taxes and also the utilities for the business type activities, you had 2,208,642 versus 2,068,000 in the prior year. And then we have the internal balances that are in agreement with each other. And then below that, we have your fixed assets. We have the land that the city has, buildings, infrastructure, which are the roads, the bridges, and drainage. Then you begin having equipment, and then the vehicles, and we have accumulated depreciation of 25 million. And you have some construction in progress of 5,986,000, and other assets of 1,781,000. The utility fund has cash balances of 3,360,000, investments of 6,390,000, and down below we have their capital assets of land. They have a little less land than the city does, and buildings, and of course the infrastructure, with is your water plant and sewer plants, and all the equipment that you need for the sanitation department. And total assets for the governmental funds are $79,758,740. The utility fund has $76,706,000 in assets. On the liability section, you have the accounts payable, which are the ones that are due within a short period of time, normally about a month. You have $1,157,000 in the general fund, $518,000 in the utility fund. And down below you have unearned revenues of $9,403,000. Last year was $4,625,000. What that represents also the $4 million you got from the government for the ARPA funds, because you only spent about $14,000 this year. So this coming years you're going to be spending more than that. Prior to this year, you had $4 million that came in 2019 or 2020? Oh, 21. Okay. And then at the very bottom, we have the debt. You're going to have to pay in the governmental funds $2,883,000 in bonds and notes. The utility fund is going to have to pay $1,871,000. The long-term debt is $31,159,000 governmental funds and $22,000 in the utility funds. Down below, we have the net position of capital. The investment in capital assets is $11,707,759. That's net of the debt of the assets that you have. Utility has an investment in capital assets of $24,489,831. Now then we get into the restricted portion of your capital. We have the debt. You have a restriction on your debt service because that money you keep in it to make payments on your debts and your bonds. You have some money set aside for capital projects of $6,208,000 and $10,725,000 in the utility fund. So you're looking at a lot of improvements coming up in the next few years. Economic development, you have $2,298,000, and municipal court has $120,000. Federal and state awards, we have municipal court has $120,000. And most of this money is money that comes in from the collection of vehicles and some of the small grants from the state. In federal and state awards, we have $292,000. Other purposes, we have $892,000. And then the unrestricted portion, which is the money that you really have to operate with without any restrictions, is $9,047,000. Utility fund has $12,531,000. And all of that is covered with cash. So it's sitting in very good position. Now we go to page 3 and 4. Now 3 and 4 is your government-wide statement of activities or statement of revenues and expenses. And what I have, instead of going through that page, we have a 5-year summary of your revenues and expenses for the last 5 years. And that one is a lot easier to read than this one here, which is this. See, this one in the audit report has the expenses first. And we're not accustomed to having expenses first. We're accustomed to see revenues and then expenses. It has expenses first, then it has then it comes in and brings in some of the revenues that you operate within the city, and then the operating grants and capital grants, and then has the difference between the two of them. Down below has the general revenues, which are the property taxes, sales taxes, franchise taxes, all the taxes that you collect. Our page has it the way we're accustomed to read it. We begin at the very top on the governmental activities with property taxes of $9,460,000. And then we have sales taxes of $6,988 for the year, and then we have franchise taxes at $1,051,000, and charges for services at $1,371,000. These are your services that people pay for permits, and I think some of your fire trucks, when they go out to the country, just fire, you get reimbursed by the county on that. That's also in there. And then you have interest earnings, other income, and then we have a transfer of $2,249,000 that went to the utility fund. On expenditures, you have $16 million. General government of $4,598,000. Public safety, which is your fire department and police department, is $6,586,000. You have public works, culture and recreation. Culture and recreation's got $2 million. And then you have economic development at $476,000, and interest and bond issuance cost of $1,102,000. At the end of the year, you had total revenues of $16,585,000. Total expenditures were $16,255,000, for a change in net position of $330,000, with profit of $330,000. Utility fund is down below. I was going to go to 21.
There's a growth as far as the pattern on the historical data. If you look at the total revenues, changes in the total revenues, you look at 2020, 21, and then 22, you can see a little bit of a difference, but that's only because of the art monies that were given to us. But other than that, it's been going up as far as since 2018 all the way to 2022. I think the city's
Projected to go up.
It is projected to
obviously.
continue going up
Yeah.
because all the subdivisions, the property values are
Correct.
going up.
Mhm.
In the last 5 years, we had an increase of about maybe $2.5 million worth of property taxes. That means a lot. If you look at, real quick, Mr. Garcia, is the page 7, that's our fund balance on the unassigned on the bottom, which is at 6.4. It grew from last year to this year. And then page 14 on the very bottom where it says unrestricted, we have the utility fund retained earnings at 8. And on the solid waste side, we have it at 4.3 million. So both accounts are very healthy, with the exception of the sanitation. That one is not that it's very healthy. It's one of the ones that we're actually buying more equipment, but we're getting there. But
It's needed equipment.
it's needed equipment because, as you know, we just met with their financial advisor in reference to the 5 CIP. And we're looking at maybe, if it's not at the next meeting, the meeting after, so you can come over and talk to us about some numbers that we're going to have to be investing in the equipment. Remember, some of the equipment we need to purchase now, so by the time we get it, it'll be maybe about a year and a half from now. But by the time that is needed, really needed, the equipment is going to be here ready available for us. So that the audit report is a great report. It's a clear report. It's clean. So I want to thank Mr. Garcia and also the finance department for working with Ms. Tina. They did an excellent job.
No, pretty much that, you answered it all.
Thank you, Mr. Garcia.
Thank you, sir.
You're
Appreciate it.
welcome.
Any questions? We're good. With that being said, is there a motion approved? All those in favor say aye. Motion carries. Thank you, sir.
The only other item we had that I need to at least bring up to your attention, we have a communication with those charged with governance, and it's really a same letter that we've issued every year. And the only thing else, we don't have any findings that are negative for the city. We did discuss some improvements for the finance department to make the process of completing the audit a little more efficient and probably quicker.
A lot of easier for you. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Thank you for hiring us as your independent auditors.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Go ahead.
Item C is hold a public hearing for a rezoning request from single-family resident district RS to multifamily resident district on the south 60 feet of east, 156.9 feet of lot 26 in the north, 40 feet in the east, 156 feet of lot 27, block R, letter block, San Juan, is requested by Rafael and Lisa Gonzalez. Mr. Tijerina? Or did I?
Ready?
Cover that one?
Sir.
Okay. Okay, so we take no action on this one. Okay, discussion and consideration to award the RFQ number 23 dash, on item D, dash 010 dash 03 dash 16, engineering services to the most qualified engineering firms. As you recall, Mayor Commissioners, we have engineers on rotation. We went out for RFQs. We're here at your pleasure to select additional others. We'll keep the same. I want to say that the ones that we're currently working with, they're very reputable, good work. But it's one of those things that every 2 years we're starting to renew put them on the rotation.
I know, there's no presentations or anything like that.
No, sir.
So we're good, right? I was hoping that everyone, I don't know if they went through their packets on the RFQs that, I know that, all of them are good, but I know we have a history of some firms already doing business in the city.
That is
and
correct.
They've done tremendous work.
Oh, yes.
Am
no
I
doubt.
correct?
No doubt, yes.
Okay. All right, so I guess what we can do is maybe add one more. So I guess I'll go ahead and make a motion to continue TriMad Consultants, Sames, and add R. Gutierrez to the rotation.
We had 4 before, but 3 right now seems like the way the work, things seem 3, if at a later time, we need to add, we can always add, right, at later time.
Definitely.
So we'll keep those 2 same ones and then, okay.
So that's my
in the
motion, yeah.
I'll second.
All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed, motion carries. Thank you, sir.
Sir, I think you skipped C.
That was a no action.
On the meter, the flow meter.
You guys gave me the wrong one.
Yeah, because that's what we mentioned no action on that one.
I'm reading, this is wrong. Let me go to, this is discussion. Yes, so it's a little bit different than
Now,
this
hold
one.
on. For the record, we took action on D,
Yes.
on the engineer services.
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. So now, we're back at C.
C.
It's, the one that we have here, it's different than the one we have on our packet. So my apologies for that. Let's go with the one on the packet.
Yeah, I guess so, yeah.
So under item C, I apologize for that again, it's discussion and action. Yes. Discussion and action, ¿dónde estamos? Yes, discussion consideration toward RFP number 23-009-02-16, City of San Juan Magnetic Flow Meter Improvements Project to the most responsible bidder. Mr. Okay.
Good evening, Mayor, Commission. On January 25th and February 1st, staff advertised for the advance newspaper to solicit bid proposals for RFP number 23-009-02-16, the City of San Juan Magnetic Flow Meter Improvement Project. Per bid conference, a bid conference was held on February 1st and a bid opening on February 16th. The following bids were received RGV Industrial Machine Shop, and Municipal Service, and Reina Construction. TriMet recommends RGV Industrial Machine Shop to deemed as the lowest bidder in the amount of $94,325 and award the project to based on the entire and recommended alternative one base.
Any questions? Not, is there a motion to approve?
So move. Second.
All those in favor say aye. Motion carries. Thank you, sir.
The next item is discussion and action, if any, to terminate contract agreement services with Cruz Hogan Consultants on any and all future Texas Water Development Drinking Water State Revolving Funds and the Clean Water State Revolving Funds. Back in 2013, Mayor Commissioners, there was an item that was approved so that any and all projects having to do with Texas Water Development Board were specifically only given to Mr. or Cruz Hogan, Orlando Cruz Hogan and Associates.
2013?
Back in 2013. So we're coming back before you so that we can terminate this contract. Doesn't mean that they cannot bid on any other project, but this will open up the opportunities for other bidders to come in, other engineers to bid on any projects having to do with Texas Water Development Board.
So you said this was back in 2013?
Yes, sir. Assuming that's when they were the engineers of record, city engineers.
But I thought they had submitted an application to the Water Development Board.
They will submit applications as needed on any projects that they come up.
Okay.
So for instance, if we're doing a lift station having to do with the Texas Water Development Board, the engineer that gets selected will submit a PIF, which is an application.
And so this is pretty much you're opening it up for,
For much the other engineers to give us
well,
a,
that's only fair. I mean, we just, like, we have the engineers that are on rotation for it. Okay. Any questions? With that being said, is there a motion to approve?
So move.
Is there a second?
Or whoever got the second.
It's been second. All those in favor say aye. All those opposed? Motion carries.
the next one is the discussion and action, if any, ratifying the Hidalgo County Drainage District Number 1 request for the use of city facilities as early voting and election day polling locations for the May 6, 2023 general elections. Your Commissioners, this is an item that was brought before you at the last meeting. However, because of the meeting got canceled, we had to bring it back to this date. However, there was a deadline, and I know speaking to Mayor, there's a couple of items that are going to be placed through the Hidalgo County Drainage District. We have not gotten that information. Ms. Nayeli, do you know? For the proposals, do we have that info? Right, but that's the only thing that, how much is that? 195, that's what they're proposing. However, they're not telling us what specific projects are going to be included. So that's something that the office of Raul Cecina is supposed to give us. They have not given us anything as far as what's going to be on the polling. They're supposed to do that. They're supposed to come over and meet with you all, but as of today, they haven't done that. It'll be on the ballot, but we don't know what those projects are. It's just that they're asking for 195. $195 million bond that is going to be included on the next election. What projects are those going to be? We have no idea. Well, anytime you put a bond, it increases taxes,
County tax.
county tax.
Bond indicates that you're going to raise the
Right.
taxes.
Well, it's not that you're going to raise, you're just leaving it in the hands of the voter,
of the
of the
people.
citizen.
Yeah, which comes with the.
But I mean, the issue I have is, how can we,
They're not here.
exactly? Did they know we're having this meeting? Yes. Y'all notified them? Through how, ma'am? She called them too? Email? And so.
Saying that they were working on it
So they
and-
want us to approve 100 and what?
95.
Without knowing what the project is, whether the projects are here in San Juan, in Wesco, Donna, I mean, just.
It's pretty much what happened at the last time, the 100 and some odd millions. It was at the last minute thing. It was like, I want to say like in April it was submitted.
So can we go ahead and table this item and have them come, or is there like certain, is there a deadline, or what?
Thing is, it's already been signed. We're just ratifying the signature. I'm just letting you all know that we don't have that information yet to present to you all. They did say they're coming over, to come over and present those proposals, but they haven't done that. They were still working on that as. Well, if we take no action, we can bring it at any later meeting, or we table it, it'll be at the next meeting.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Right.
I think it'd be best that we have someone representing the individual who's gonna speak in behalf of the bond.
Asked, and asked them, and they did say that they were working on the proposals, but they have, or proposed bonds, but they have not finished that as of Friday of last week. Yes. We could go ahead and
I
table.
wouldn't be comfortable without the information.
Not about accepting the actual bond proposal, it's just to put it on the ballot.
No, I get that, but,
But we
I mean,
don't
how are you
know.
gonna answer to the citizen who, if they ask questions about it? I
And
mean,
we
I
don't-
wouldn't know what to say. As of right now.
The table?
Exactly, Hidalgo County District Number 1 is our area, right? Our general area? District 1 is our area here, and adjoining cities, right?
Right.
I got you.
It's gonna be countywide,
Kind of, yeah.
yes.
I guess at this time, I'm gonna go ahead and entertain a motion to table this item. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
On the contractual, we have consideration and action, if any, authorizing the mayor to ratify a contract with the Hidalgo County Elections Administrator for election services. So this is the item, Mayor, that there was election services. We're looking at about, give or take, for the general election, an approximate number of maybe about 50,000. This is what we paid last year.
50,000?
It was 49 plus change.
Happened to the 30,000?
30s, right? 35?
I thought it was 26, the last quote we
It
got.
went up.
It's a little bit of inflation there.
Is that the number, Ms. Nayeli? About 50,000? Yes.
Now we're gonna have two ordinances, 49.
No, early voting is only on the south side.
Total
Yes, sir,
election.
total.
It's total, right?
Yes.
Early in the election day, more or
Right.
less?
Yes.
Okay. What's up?
It may be more, it's just an estimated amount that
Got
we
it.
have.
Okay, with that being said, is there a motion approved? Second that. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carries.
The next item is consideration and action, if any, on interlocal cooperation agreement between the County of Hidalgo and the City of San Juan to provide efficient and effective library services for county residents. Ms. Asin?
Afternoon, Mayor, Commissioners. This is the yearly agreement we have with Hidalgo County to offer services to the residents and citizens from Hidalgo County. It's a yearly agreement.
Questions? If not, is there a motion approved? All those in favor say aye. Motion carries. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Under resolution, consideration and action, if any, on resolution for the submission of an application to participate in the ICS Insured Cash Sweep Investment Account, allowing the city to invest its fund in a spectrum way to maximize the city's return on investment while still maintaining fiscally prudent investments. Mr. Gonzalez?
Hey, Mayor, this is an application to be members of the insured cash sweep that is provided by Lone Star National Bank. It's just to, right now, we currently have Techstar as our investment, and it's just to add another investment.
Questions for Mr. Leroy?
You reviewed everything?
Excuse me?
You reviewed everything?
Yes.
with the proposal?
Going to give us another
leverage?
item to be
Help me out.
investing on.
Gotcha.
That being said, is there a motion approved?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you, sir.
The next item under item B, consideration and action, if any, on a resolution supporting the adoption and approval of the Texas term sheet for. Recall sometime back, we brought that before you all. If if you were interested in participating on that settlement, it's already been settled. Now what they're doing is participating in the amount of money that every city that participated in that lawsuit is going to be getting. So this is pretty much what it is.
That being said, is there a motion approved? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carries.
Under consent agenda, we have items A through I. They're with you. If you have any questions on any of those, you can pull any of those separately, individually, to, if you'd like to discuss further.
This time, is there anything under consent agenda we need to modify or amend? Modify or amend under consent agenda? If not, is there a motion to approve? All those in favor say aye. Motion carries. Thank you, sir.
Under executive session, we have the city commission will reconvene in open session to take necessary action, if any, in accordance with chapter 551, open meeting subchapter E, procedures relating to closed meeting 551 requirements to vote or take final action in open meeting. Tonight, we have item 1, 2, and 3. The first one is for entertainment for 4th of July, a possible creation of a Chamber of Commerce, and then the last one is regarding the creation of City of San Juan Noche de Paz Queens pageants.
Said, is there a motion to enter executive session? All those in favor say aye. Aye. We will be entering at 7:11 PM. All right, we're back from executive session at 8:10 PM. Is there a motion to reconvene? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Under executive session, 8:1, I'll make a motion to approve as discussed in executive session. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carries. Under executive 8:2, I'll make a motion to approve as discussed in executive session.
So moved. Second, I'm sorry.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. And executive under 3, I'll make a motion to approve as discussed in executive session. It's been second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Is there a motion to adjourn? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
This meeting has been adjourned at 8:11. 8:11 PM.